Urban flooding. Why in news? There has been an increased incidence of high-intensity rainfall in short duration, causing urban flooding which is further compounded by unplanned growth, encroachment of natural water bodies, and poor drainage system. What is urban flooding about? Urban flooding is the inundation of land or property in a built environment, particularly in more densely populated areas, like cities, caused by rainfall overwhelming the capacity of drainage systems. Unlike rural floods, heavy rain over a flat or low-lying area, urban flooding is not only caused by just higher precipitation but also unplanned urbanization, catchments, that increases the flood peaks from 1.8 to 8 times. Increases the flood volumes by up to 6 times. Causes: encroachments on drainage channels. Due to increased land prices and less availability of land, new developments have come up in low-lying areas of cities, such as encroachments over lakes, wetlands and riverbeds. Ideally, the natural drains should have been widened to accommodate the higher flows of stormwater. But on the contrary, there have been large-scale encroachments without widening the natural drains, leading to decrease in the capacity of the natural drains resulting in flooding. Climate change. Climate change has caused an increase in the frequency of short-duration heavy rainfall leading to higher water runoff. Whenever the rain-bearing clouds pass over the urban heat island, the hot air pushes the clouds up, resulting in highly localized rainfall which may sometimes be of high intensity. Unplanned tourism activities. Water bodies used for tourism development lose natural protection as water plants are removed. Non-biodegradable waste thrown during religious events harms water quality. Floods lead to pollutants overflowing, endangering cities. For example, Ashtamudi Lake in Kollam, Kerala faces oil spill pollution from boats. Uninformed release of water from dams. Unplanned and sudden release of water from dams and lakes lead to floods in an urban area, without giving the public enough time to respond. Example: Chennai floods 2015 due to release of water from Chembarambakkam Lake. The July 2023 flood in Delhi was magnified by 2 lakh cusecs of water discharged from the Hathnikund barrage into the Yamuna River. Illegal mining. Illegal mining of river sand and quartzite for use in building construction deplete the natural bed of the rivers and lakes. It causes soil erosion and reduces the water retention capacity of the water body, increasing the speed and scale of water flow. Example: Jaisamand Lake, Jodhpur, Kaveri River, Tamil Nadu. What are the implications of urban flooding? Loss of life and property. Urban floods are often associated with loss of life and physical injury, either directly due to the effect of floods or indirectly due to infections by waterborne diseases spreading during the inundated period. Ecological and environmental. Trees and plants are washed away during extreme flood events, and riverbank erosion is caused by high-speed flood water. Impact on animal and human health. Stagnation of stormwater in the localities and contamination of consumable water leads to various health problems resulting in plagues epidemics. The sewage and solid waste washing into houses and neighborhoods also causes a variety of diseases to spread. Psychological impacts. Loss of shelter and relatives creates emotional turmoil in the mental health of the stranded. The recovery process in case of such incidents is a tiresome process and time-consuming that often leads to long-lasting psychological trauma. What are the government initiatives to curtail urban flooding? Jal Shakti Abhiyan, JSA. Amrit Sarovar Mission. Atal Bhujal Yojana, Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, Amrit 2.0. Model Building Bylaws, MBBL, 2016. Standard Operating Procedures, SOPs, on Urban Flooding by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Way forward. Implement sustainable urban planning practices that prioritize green spaces, retention ponds, and permeable surfaces to absorb and manage stormwater. Avoid construction in flood-prone areas and preserve natural drainage systems. Invest in upgrading and expanding drainage infrastructure, including natural drains, stormwater channels, and flood control systems. Regular maintenance and cleaning of drains are essential to ensure effective water flow. Identify and map flood-prone areas and develop appropriate floodplain management strategies. Restrict construction and development in these vulnerable zones to reduce the risk of flooding. Establish and improve early warning systems to alert residents about impending floods. Timely warnings can help people evacuate and take necessary precautions. The Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Bill, 2023. Why in news? The Rajya Sabha has passed the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Amendment Bill, 2023 for making amendments to the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation MMDR Act, 1957. What is the background? The MMDR Act, 1957 was amended in 2015 to introduce auction-based mineral concession allocation for transparency, create District Mineral Foundation, DMF, for the welfare of affected communities, establish National Mineral Exploration Trust, NMET, to promote exploration, and impose stricter penalties for illegal mining. The Act was further amended in 2016 and 2020 to address specific emergent issues and was last amended in 2021 to bring further reforms in the sector, such as removing the distinction between captive and merchant mines, etc. However, the mineral sector required more reforms, particularly for increasing exploration and mining of critical minerals that are essential for economic development and national security in the country. The lack of availability of the critical minerals or concentration of their extraction or processing in a few geographical locations may lead to supply chain vulnerabilities and even disruption of supplies. Critical minerals have gained significance in view of India's commitment towards energy transition and achieving net zero emission by 2070. What are the key provisions under the bill? What is the scenario of the mining sector in India? Backbone of manufacturing. Mining industry plays a crucial role in the country's economy, serving as the backbone for manufacturing and infrastructure sectors. According to the Ministry of Mines, the total value of mineral production, excluding atomic and fuel minerals, during 2021 to 2022 amounted to 2,11,857 crore rupees. Scope. India ranks fourth globally in terms of iron ore production and is the world's second largest coal producer as of 2021. Combined aluminium production, primary and secondary, in India stood at 4.1 metric tons per annum in FY21, becoming the second largest in the world. In 2023, the minerals demand is likely to increase by 3%, driven by expanded electrification and overall economic growth in India. India holds a fair advantage in production and conversion costs in steel and alumina. Its strategic location enables export opportunities to develop as well as fast-developing Asian markets. Paleo Proxies. Why in news? Recently, it was proclaimed that a particular day in July 2023 as the warmest in over 100,000 years is scientifically unfounded. This claim is based on temperature estimates from before the invention of thermometers, which rely on paleo proxies that cannot provide daily time-scale temperatures. What are paleo proxies? About paleo proxies, short for paleoclimate proxies or paleoenvironmental proxies, are indicators or records used by scientists to reconstruct past climate and environmental conditions. These proxies are typically derived from physical, biological, or chemical processes that respond to changes in temperature or other climatic factors. Since direct measurements of climate from the distant past are not possible, scientists rely on these proxy records to understand past climate variations and long-term trends. Examples: ice cores. Ice cores drilled from glaciers and polar ice sheets contain trapped air bubbles and isotopic compositions that provide information about past atmospheric conditions, including temperature and greenhouse gas concentrations. Tree rings. The width, density, and isotopic composition of tree rings can reveal past climate variations and growth conditions of trees, serving as a valuable proxy for temperature and precipitation changes. Coral records. The growth patterns and isotopic compositions of corals offer information about past sea surface temperatures and ocean conditions. Pollen records. The presence and abundance of specific pollen types preserved in sediment cores can indicate past vegetation and climate changes. Limitations. A major assumption required to make the paleo proxy technique workable is that the processes that produced the proxies have operated similarly back then as they do today. However, proxies buried in ocean and lake sediments can only record temperature anomalies on timescales of centuries or thousands of years, making daily temperature estimations impossible. Temperature proxies provide only local or regional estimates of historical temperature anomalies with significant uncertainties. Global estimates based on averaging all local proxies have even higher uncertainties, making claims about daily temperatures at a global scale unreliable. What are the other methods to estimate temperature over longer timescales? Some isotopes with known radioactive decay rates can provide estimates of temperature changes over longer timescales like Holocene epoch. The Holocene epoch is a geological timescale that began approximately 11,650 years ago and continues to the present day. It is the current and most recent epoch within the Quaternary period. Carbon or lead isotopes with half-lives ranging from 5,000 to over 10 million years can be used to estimate past temperatures. Nonetheless, these methods are also limited to longer timescales and cannot provide daily temperature data.